Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I've got something pretty special here with me. This is the Shirogorov Custom Division F95 NL. This is a special knife which my friend Rene sent along to support the channel, and it's just a beautiful thing, so thank you, Rene. As usual, we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison to see how big it is. Let's check it up against another custom division. This is the F3, and this is another beauty over here. It's a Shirogorov Hati. Let's see, we have another carbon fiber goodness, large Sebenza 21, and Cultratech Svarn 3 right over here, so smaller than this guy, just a tad bigger than the Sebenza. And let's do another couple. This is your District 9, so very similar in size over here, and something more common like PM3 from Spyderco. So there you have it. So let's go ahead and analyze the look of this guy, because it's this is a special one, guys. This is not your classic Shirogorov F95. This is a custom division, so much more refined and just you know, rarer and more expensive. This is an original design made in Russia, and if you check carefully, you know, there are no straight lines. I mean, every line except for this one has a gentle curve over here. This is maybe a little bit straight, but it's all about curves, but gentle, so not like too rounded off, and overall has a quite futuristic look, and with a retro kind of feel injected into it. I don't know, it's something special. Colors are mostly gray and black because of the titanium and the carbon fibers inlay, but overall it's pretty classic, guys. This is a beautiful frame lock. It's in titanium and carbon fiber. It's exuding quality. This is something you have to hold in your hands to play with, to actually realize how good this guy is. Let's, for example, like check out the flipper tab. I mean, guys, this is pure design goodness. Like, has the perfect shape, I think, the perfect size, as the right amount of jimping over here, the right angle, so you can, you know, just light switch or push button and it's gonna fire like a boss. It's beautiful. I mean, it has this nice finger groove right over here, which I love, and overall, I mean, the contouring, it's amazing. Like, guys, look, check this out. So for example, the chamfering here, it's classic, all right, classic, and boom, it transformed into a rounded one right from this point over here, all rounded off up against this point to be like kind of like straight, let's say, and then look at this detail over here, it gets back to like a rounded one. Same thing in the lock-in side. So this is gonna translate in a pretty superior ergonomic, and you know, also it means like attention to detail. It's just incredible. Chamfering, it's going on also on the inside. Look at that. They didn't leave any detail behind. So truly pure craftsmanship for this one. You have you know, like this is a frame lock, so you have a nice lock bar stabilizer right over here, so you're not gonna be able to overextend the lock bar. You see, it's just hitting up against the scale, so there's no risk of overextending this guy too much. Of course, you have a lock face insert, which is made out of steel, and the only gripe I have, the only thing is that if you check the lock steel insert right over here, it's a tad lower than the actual ending of the lock bar, which means you can, if you use this guy like for a long time, you might get to a point where you need to replace the lock face insert because you don't want the tang of the blade to get in contact with this very tip right over here at the end of the lock face. So that's the only thing. But as you can see, like the lockup, it's pretty early, so you're gonna have a long life. And this is, yes, it's an early lockup, but it's not dangerous, it's not scary, because this guy is solid like a rock. So it's always gonna be early, like in other Shirogorov, for example, like F3. Look at this, it's early but super solid. Hati, it's a little bit less early, but again, really, really solid lockup. You also have a pretty nice lock release, for your thumb over here, and it's all chamfered, contoured. It's gonna be a beautiful sensation, beautiful experience, like in just unlocking this blade. So beautiful, really, really nice. If you see, like the screws are proprietary, so I mean, you can use like a coin to open this up. They provide they sell a tool if you want to be sure you're not going to be mangled these beautiful screws, but also you can try like with a flathead screwdriver, and much attention to disassemble this guy, because like construction wise it's pretty straightforward. You have a screw pivot over here, another screw right there, and boom, you're done. So it's pretty simple. You see like something, that it's, I don't understand why, but the screws are not oriented in the same way, which I would love, just because of my OCD. But yeah, it's they're still unmistakably Shirogorov screws, this one. So something that also it's worth mentioning, guys, it's the pocket clip. So I mean, check this out. This is beautiful. It's a 3D milled titanium pocket clip. All right, has a two-tone, like a nice satin flat with a kind of like it's not bead blasted, but it's I don't know, some like vapor blast kind of thing. You can still appreciate the milling grooves a little bit just in these areas. But the shape, the design, just, these lines are, just masterfully crafted. So it is incredible. It's tip-up only. It's not reversible. It's not ambidextrous. There's a lanyard hole just on one side over here. But I mean, this clip has one contact side on this side, not on this side. This side is open. It has a beautiful design. I truly appreciate this guy. If you check blade centering, of course it's spot on, and if you deploy the blade, you're gonna be welcomed by this beauty. I mean, this is a S90V dual tone blade. The flats are polished, like mirror polished, and the main grind has this vapor fine medium blast, like. And it's not a tumble, it's just a fine finish, which it's not reflective. It's gonna have a matte look overall, but it's just incredible to look at. The stock thickness, it's it's all right. I mean, it's not the thickest and it's not even super thin, but it's right for most of the jobs. And the tip, just thins down to a fine tip. So I wouldn't pry anything with this guy because, yeah, it's first of all, it's just beautiful, and it would be like a pity to break this tip. But I don't think it's going to be like. I mean, it's strong, but not meant for heavy duty tasks. All these blades are hand ground, and the grind, I mean, this is a full almost full flat grind, just this little flat, it's not ground by hand by Shirogorov, and it's a great thing. I mean, the edge symmetry, it's perfect. The edge profile, it's a nice belly, pretty long up to this point more or less, and just flat up to here. You've got your nice sharpening choil revealing, look at this, this is pretty thin behind the edge, even if the plunge grind, it doesn't show that, but this is super thin. This is a crazy slicer, guys. You have your ricasso basically hidden underneath the handle, but something that I'm truly in love with is this triangular plunge grind, which is like common in all the Shirogorov. Let's see, F3 has the same, and Hati as well, a little bit wider on this guy, but still, it's something, it's a distinctive feature of the Shirogorov blades, which I'm a big fan of. If you check the jimping over here, it's a nice and geared jimping with a little bit of chamfering, more pronounced right around the jimping, and not really a thumb ramp, not really a swedge. This is still smooth, and it's not like crowned, like rounded off, but it's smooth and not sharp whatsoever. You have just a little bit of billboarding, quite subtle over here. This is the logo for the custom division, which has the outline of the bear, which you can see right over here. So this is gonna, give you an indication that this is not a regular production, but it's a custom division one. Whereas this guy, it's gonna show you that this is production. On the other side, you're gonna have your S90V mark, just to remember which kind of steel you're using. But overall, it's not obtrusive. Even if I prefer like more sterile look, this is pretty acceptable. It's very minimal, very subtle, and unobtrusive, 100%. You've got your ceramic detent ball right over here, and if you check on the inside, these scales have been heavily skeletonized. The weight of this guy is incredible. This is a feather, guys. To have 9.5 centimeters blade, so like 3.75 inches long blade, it's incredible. It's just a beauty to hold. So let's check out some noises, because the sound this guy makes, it's Shirogorov unique sound. So hear this. Guys, you can hear the bearing like whooshing as you deploy the blade. You hear that. And the sound is rich. It's a rich whirring as it deploys, and a pretty nice and piercing clack. Guys, this translates from my ears into my brain in solidity and quality and just overall goodness. It's amazing. The sound when you close the blade, it's like this. It's a muffled and mellow thud. Guys, you can be on the couch and flip this guy like all day long, and you cannot get tired by this sound. It's just incredible. It's just beautiful, guys. Sorry if I indulge with this boy, but yeah, it's superb. I love it. Let's check out some feelings when you handle this blade, because it is the ergonomics are fantastic. I mean, this is pretty thin, in your hand, and you have no hot spots. Like, the clip is beautifully designed. You don't feel any pocket clip whatsoever. There are no sharp edges. Even here they chamfer this area so that if you squeeze it, you don't feel anything, guys. It's insane. You have the right amount of jimping over here, which is gonna be beautiful to give you a little bit more precision in your carving works. You can do like a perfect reverse grip. Your pinky is gonna be right over here, thumb is gonna be up top at the heel of the handle, and you're gonna have a pretty solid grip. There's not really an option to choke up because this is not truly like a finger choil, but you can use a more advanced position with your thumb like this, and it's gonna be great. Something I'd like to mention, it's that this is like incredibly sleek. This carbon fiber, it's amazingly smooth, so it might translate into a little bit less of a grip you're gonna get when holding this blade, but because the ergonomics are so good, I don't see this blade going anywhere when you work. Fit and finish are just ridiculous. I mean, I don't see anything. The only thing somebody could say is that this overlay, because it's not really inlaid, but it's an inlay, it's not flush. So that could be something that somebody might say about this one, but there's no gaps whatsoever around. The build construction is super solid, no blade play. The clip, as we said, is a master of design, because if you see the angle, it's pretty acute over here but long, and then it's different right over here in the back when you have to pull it out of your pocket. Clip retention, it's just great. There's a pretty good spring action over here, and this is not gonna leave your pocket if you just you slide it down up to here. It's not like deep carry. You're gonna have this little chunk sticking out of your pants, but yeah, you're gonna be proud of showing this little chunk sticking out. If we check like the feeling as you deploy the blade, guys, this is fantastic. It's truly fascinating how a knife can feel in your hand, because it's a combination of the weight, of the ergonomics, of the look, of the sound, that when you do this, it's fantastic. There's no finger sore. I mean, we said that flipper tab is beautifully designed. It's super smooth, like opening. I mean, of course it's running on bearings, caged, and I mean the detent strength, it's just perfectly dialed in. You have a nice kickback, because of the speed with which the blade deploys. So you're gonna have like this kind of like of effect in the handle, because the blade is like flipping out like a boss. And of course, the tip, it's right over here. So you see, if I jam my fingertip right into that, there's no way I'm gonna be able to touch it, okay? There's no rattling when this is shaken, which means like they built this guy in a super solid way. If you see the lock release over here is just the perfect one. So you see this side is a little bit recessed, presentation side rounded off, so you can just slide the thumb right here, and this side has like this half moon kind of shape, which is gonna be let you know that you have to stop your thumb right here, and it's the right shape so that you can just apply the right pressure to unlock the bar with no lock stick whatsoever, and just close the blade like that. There's no detent ball ramp, so you're gonna have just a little bit of hard step when you're gonna close the blade, but you're gonna be rewarded with this buttery smooth action, guys. Like, look at this. So there's a free fall as you unlock the lock bar, sorry, but when you do this, look at that. I mean, guys, What is this? This is one of the smoothest knives I've ever experienced. Look at that. As soon as you move the handle, look at this. There's just barely any wiggle required to close the blade. You just have to slowly move the handle to, like, in a counterclockwise movement, just to have the blade fall shut with such an elegance that is quite rare in, you know, in knives. I mean, this is, of course, it's not a cheap one, clearly, but it's pretty close to perfection, guys. Something else like the detent suction right over here is kind of low, but who cares? I mean, this is one of the best Shirogorov custom division I've ever handled. And yeah, it has been a pleasure for me to review this guy. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the video and stay tuned.